the biggest advantage you can have in financial markets, no matter if you are a trader or investor, you gotta keep an open mind and you know, go to where the money is going. And I'm being flexible, really trying to be flexible. Like I was, you know, I'm actually really proud of getting long AMC and BB because I never, like I've seen these things so many times, like these perfect flags, but it's so hard to go long a stock that's already up several 100% in a, you know, 3, 4, 5 days. But, you know, I've seen so many times those are the exact stocks that can make the biggest moves. So I'm actually really proud. I finally managed to rewire my brain to do something I'm very uncomfortable with, but something I know has an edge. Because I've seen it happen so many times, the exact same movie, and I keep missing it. That's why I love Druckenmiller a lot. Because he always talks about being able to change his mind. Like he always, like in almost every interview, pretty much every interview I've seen and read of him, he talks about his superpower is him being able to change his mind when the facts change. And that's the reason, you know, that's the way, that's the philosophy that made him 30% on average over 30 years with no down years. That's why he's one of the greats. And I always really try to, you know, take these nuggets of wisdom from, you know, people that are actually successful. They don't pretend to be on Twitter. They don't post motivational and trading quotes on Twitter. They actually have a track record. They've been putting their balls on the line for decades. Yeah, investing, you know, momentum is the same always because it's human nature. Momentum is human nature in a nutshell. We're herd animals and we go crazy in crowds. In crowds, reasonable if you gather you know, 1,000 reasonable people in a crowd, the crowd could very easily be unreasonable very fast. Like people go crazy in crowds. We see it all the time. Damn, Beasley. Oh, yeah. If it can't bounce off the 10-day, the rising 10-day, I'm gonna sell it. I should have sold more into strength. I kind of, yeah. Look at where it stopped. The 100-day. And the 20-day weekly. Yeah, EMC could be a reshort, or you know, if or an ad if it you know, gets to the VWAP, or even better if it overshoots the VWAP, and then you look for weakness again, and rinse and repeat. And depending on how it closes, I will determine how many shares I'll hold overnight on these things. How algo trading changed the market? Algo trading is the best thing ever. It created so much liquidity. It's never been easier for traders to succeed, for retail traders like us to succeed. Never been easier. Never been so cheap to trade. We've never had these good tools. There's never been this much liquidity in the markets. Like algos are the best thing that ever happened to the markets. Yeah, high frequency trading, best thing ever, really. Oh, and I know. Oh, did I just break the narrative that the HFTs and algos are bad for the markets? The loser mentality that gets spread around, like the loser mentality of small account challenges when it's really a small account edge. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. It's all about getting away with the loser mentalities, you know, that society spreads around. It's all bullshit. Yeah, shorts are bad too. Yeah, the evil shorts. It's un-American. You know what is un-American? Shorting Playboy. If you even think about ever shorting this thing, go away. Unfollow me. I don't want you in my community. Playboy is only to be invested in. HFT make markets. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. The markets are apparently less trendy. Okay, let's use some brain cells. So when, you know, I mean, let's look at the S&P 500 because you can see more data. Okay, yeah, I agree. The markets are less trendy since they became more when the algorithms, you know, became the biggest volume. I agree. Oh man, there's just so much stupidity getting spread around. Ugh. I'm telling you guys, you only need to have 3 brain cells. If you can make them work together, you're just gonna blow everyone else away. Yeah, exactly. We overestimate the shit and underestimate the potential. Yep. Yeah, and you can also learn a lot of lessons from the market wizards because a lot of them have lost their edge because they weren't able to adapt to changing markets. Especially the ones that traded the shorter time frames. You know, when the algos came around, you know, many people traded it like market makers, like manually trade like market makers, like people still did it in like late 90s. They made a killing, and then, you know, the algos started to come around and they just lost their edge. And they couldn't adapt. This is why I always try, you know, when there is, you know, even if it's something really silly, like AMC being pushed by social media, you know, when I see, you know, when I read the order flow, you know, you gotta trade in the way of where the money is going. And yesterday the money was going in the stock. There was no doubt about it, right? You had a very good risk reward and it almost doubled intraday in a few hours. Now I could have bitched and moaned like everyone, all of these smart MBAs on Twitter, like, oh, it's overvalued, it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. Or you can just get in on the joke and make money. And it can be really hard to do sometimes, but you gotta force your brain to like do these things you've always found really hard to do. That's the only way to get to a higher level. This is also why I got into crypto, you know, 3 or 4 years ago. I opened this like crypto accounts. I bought some Bitcoin, some Ethereum, some shit coins that went to zero. You know, I didn't really, you know, believe in the things, but, you know, I had to be there because if that's the next big thing, I don't want to miss out on it. I need to be there. I don't want to be another another trader who was once successful and then lost his edge. You gotta be there when there is change, when there are new people coming into the market doing things their way. You gotta be there, because you know what, the old people, they're gonna die and the new people are gonna run the markets. And if you still trade the old people way, well, guess what? Your edge is gone.